How did Claire Daniels, the CEO of Trio Media, increase your agency's revenue by 47%, hit record sales, all while implementing a 4-day work week? Like, seriously? In this video, we'll walk through how she spotted the opportunity for growth and the approach she implemented at Trio Media that made all of this possible. But let's rewind to 2019 when Claire Daniels acquired Trio Media, based in Leeds, England, and scaled from there to success with over 40 retainer-based clients.
My previous experience in marketing was all client side. So I've worked in strategic, head of marketing, marketing director roles, kind of typically in tech companies was where my career had been so far. And I knew personally the owners of the business and came and got involved doing some consultancy work when I decided to leave my last role. I was just looking at doing something a bit different. Started helping out, got very involved in the business, spotted the opportunity to be able to grow it and, kind of beyond where it was at the time. And so kind of one thing led to another, but I took on shares of one director who left initially when the business wasn't performing very well, but I'd spotted the opportunity for growth. And then I bought the remaining 50% of shares kind of about a year on from that, because I knew where I could take the business, essentially.
Acquiring a running business can come with its own set of challenges. While many things are already set up, it results in a steep learning curve.
I bought into a train that was already rolling. I couldn't stop it for me to figure everything out before I was then driving it. I just had to take over driving it and figure out what all the controls were as it was going.
And not all the controls even worked. Some business decisions before Daniels became CEO were clearly unsustainable.
One of the key selling points was like, there's no contracts. We won't tie you into a contract, because they were trying to just get some money off people, so like, don't worry, we won't tie you in, just pay us every month as it goes. We continued with that a bit. And then as we've grown and we've got more people and more overheads, we're like, we kind of need contracts, to people to know what money's coming in.
Other things needed change too. Daniel says a series of incremental improvements led to bigger changes that placed them securely on the path to success. She says, every person we hire, the role we created and why, and bringing it on at the right time, the lessons we learned from winning and losing clients, all of these constant changes add up to a lot. Next, Trio Media decided to focus on improving efficiencies at the agency.
So when I was trying to get involved and understand what was going on, it was very much relying on that person being there to tell me and them remembering and their notes being up to date. So we implemented Trello first of all, and a clear structure of how processes would be managed, which we've then always had a platform for and have now moved on to Asana. But in doing that as well, we've also uncovered actually what our own intricate processes are as part of that we can explain to clients, and we can put time amounts on and everything like that. So there's a really clear view of everything that we're delivering.
Creating these project management processes has vastly improved the client experiences at Trio Media. These processes also facilitate conversations that set the right client expectations at the start of a project.
Typically, this is a conversation I have with every client we do a website project for, who says, how soon can you do it and how long is it going to take? Is we can say, well, the time we map out, maybe X, say it's 12 weeks, 16 weeks. But that deadline moves on a week. Every week you delay in coming back to us with feedback, because a lot of people don't count that in. You give them a date to start with and they just think that's the date. But then if they took 2 weeks to come back to you, that's added another 2 weeks onto the date. So, we get really clear with our clients on how that process works. Now with using Asana, it's about visibility, so the more visibility we have as an organization, the more efficient we can be, because we're not waiting for an answer from one person to the next. The client isn't, anyone should be able to update a client on what's going on, because that information should be readily available.
And improving efficiencies set the agency up for what is perhaps the biggest organizational change at Trio Media. With all the buzz switching to a 4-day work week in a post-pandemic world, Daniels had the vision to know that Trio Media was now well positioned to reap positive benefits from this disruptive move.
Moving to a 4-day work week was about scaling the business. It wasn't about, we want to be a lifestyle company, take it easy, not work very much, just see what happens, we're comfortable. It was about actually, how do we become more productive as an organization? Productivity, the underlie to that is profitability. How do we grow, spend less, grow more, grow as a business, become more attractive to candidates, really stand out in the space that we're in, which then put us on more of a launch pad for that than we would have ever known, because we joined the official pilot in the UK, and I've been featured in the media across the world about this. It's really helped accelerate awareness of who our business is.
By implementing the forward-thinking organizational pivot, Trio Media was able to achieve results that exceeded even their own expectations.
The previous research I had read in that it can help increase productivity. Businesses that do it are more likely to have better profit margins, happier people, and the results have been amazing. 47% year-on-year revenue growth for the period doing the 4-day week, the 6 months versus the 6 months prior. We've now kept doing it. We've had 2 record sales months during the time. Everyone was happier. We've still grown and had to recruit, not to cover the time, but to cover all the extra work coming in. You can't necessarily attribute that all to the 4-day week, but I do think having happier people makes them more productive, makes them more committed to the workplace, to the business, and to want to contribute, and then the results come from that in turn. So anyone who is considering it, I'd just say give it a go. In the old model of 5 days a week, 9 to 5, people are 100% productive that whole time. So it's about recognizing where you're not productive, eliminating that, and getting 4 really high performance productive days out of your people, and then in turn, as a reward for that, giving them a better work-life balance with a 3-day weekend.
Beyond Trio Media's bold pivot to a 4-day work week, the company has implemented a range of strategies to promote employee retention and foster a positive work environment. One of these is leaning into the strengths of individual employees.
And I think as well, you're naturally either more people-orientated or task-orientated. So some people like to just get on with tasks. Some people like to speak to people, and that they would find it hard to focus on getting tasks done. So when you have that mix, you're expecting everyone to do everything, and there's going to be part of it that they are naturally not as good at. So it's going, well, what is the part you're good at? And you do that, and let's take away the bit that you're not so good at. And that's not an insult to anyone, that's just human nature in terms of like some people work better in different environments, and it's just leaning into that.
The team also has a clear vision on who they hire as they build on the success that the agency has had so far.
So in terms of hiring, I think my view has always been you can teach someone the skills, but you can't teach someone the right attitude. So I always hire first based on attitude, willingness to work, what they can bring to the culture and contribute to the business as a whole. One of the things for us that's certainly got easier as the company has grown is we really don't struggle to recruit people, and that's largely down to we have a motto for our own social media, like a slogan of like, you either want to work with us or for us. So everything we put out on social media should make people think, oh, that's a company that I want to go work at, or equally should attract prospective clients. And it definitely works on the recruitment side. I've not had to pay for any recruitment, even in terms of listing a job ad for the last 4 hires at least that we've done, because people just come to us. So making sure that it looks attractive, but equally is as attractive when they get there. It's not just a facade that you put out, but it's the truth.
As a leader, Daniels is keenly aware on the need to nurture and encourage positive work environment at Trio Media.
Looking after them, and it's just really important to me to have a workplace that people enjoy. Like, we spend so much of our time here, we've got to enjoy it. And I would really hate if people have the Sunday night dread about coming to work in the morning. It's just thinking about all those things, like what keeps you up at night as a leader. The people are the part I'm most proud of. Like, no one has ever resigned from me throughout my career, but also at Trio, I've never had anyone voluntarily leave. So that kind of makes me super proud that we've built a workplace that people want to be a part of.
With all the successes they had, Daniels and the team are excited about their future growth potential. And while they're at it, they're also considering a 3-day work week now. What?
We have had, on average over the past 3 years, 44% year-on-year growth. So we plan on continuing to grow at the same rate. We're going to be putting everything into growing. So the aim is to expand our client base, in turn expand our team, probably grow outside of where we're based now. So we would definitely like to end up with an international presence. What that looks like, we'll see. But we've definitely got those ambitions of like the sky is the limit, wanting to be one of the recognised marketing agencies who are exceptional at what we do.
Find more details on the Trio Media Path to Success story on the agency profile section of our blog. You'll also find information on how the team at Trio Media is structured and the proactive management tactics in play at this innovative agency. You can find a link down in the description below. If you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and hit that bell notification button to stay updated with our future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.